My husband's ex-wife was furious my stepdaughter called me mom. Okay, so I, 34F, married the man of my dreams last month, 44M, and he has a 16-year-old daughter from his prior marriage. I've been in her life and she's been in mine for 4 years, and I've done my best to be there for her as a friend and trustworthy adult, and she's a really, really great kid. I felt closer to her than I did any of my sisters, and I could see she looked up to me and trusted me. One more important thing, she's on the autism spectrum. I swear that's relevant. My husband and I went on our honeymoon for 2 weeks, and then we came back on Friday, and my stepdaughter came up to me and asked if we could talk, and she told me no one had ever been as considerate as I was learning how to make foods in the exact way she liked them, or as patient with her poor emotional regulation. Her words, "I think she's doing great," and she told me I overall was her favorite person in her life. So she asked if it was okay to call me mom. This really, really caught me off guard, and I stopped for a moment to process it, and she got embarrassed and told me she was sorry and it was stupid, but I told her it wasn't stupid because I would love that. She got super excited and hugged me, and it was lovely. I was telling my husband about it later, and it suddenly sunk in that I had become somebody's mom. I just stopped and I told him I'm someone's mom, and he asked me if I felt like I was in the delivery room, haha. I laughed at that, but I got so emotionally overwhelmed I started crying. This morning she came downstairs and said "Hey mom" to me, and it's gonna take some getting used to, but holy shit, that was a great feeling. I still don't believe I've earned the titles, but I'll be damned if I'm not going to try my damn best. So it seems last month I got a husband and a daughter too. Pretty good deal if you ask me. So I recently made a post talking about how my stepdaughter asked to call me mom, and it made me really happy. My husband has 2 children from his previous marriage, a 16-year-old autistic daughter and a 26-year-old daughter. When they divorced, his ex-wife advocated for custody of the older daughter. Sounds like it was because she was more independent and less work, and he got the youngest one. As a result, his younger daughter always felt kind of unloved by her mom and doesn't go too far out of her way to talk to her. So the older daughter finally got a job in her field that she's been fighting for a few years, and she wanted to have a dinner with the family. She seems like a nice girl from the times I've interacted with her, but her mom seems passive-aggressive and unkind. We all got to the restaurant and sat down, and it was pretty nice and civil. I was sitting next to my stepdaughter, and she was a little overwhelmed because she hadn't been to the restaurant before and didn't know what to order, so we were looking at the menu and I pointed out a type of pasta that looked similar to something we make at home that she likes. She said "Thanks mom." I guess she said it loud enough that her biological mom heard, because she literally stopped everything and asked, "What did you just say?" My husband and I tried to defuse the situation, but she was very agitated by it and actually asked why she did it. Their older daughter stepped in and asked if she could tell her mom about her new job, and that got her to move on finally. My stepdaughter didn't say much for the rest of the evening, but on the way home she tried to apologize for ruining the evening, to which we told her she didn't. Then, if this wasn't bad enough, both she and my husband received a 4-paragraph-long message talking about how disrespectful and egregious it was that she called another woman mom, and how she was very disturbed by it. My husband is just in disbelief and feels horrible for our daughter. He went to talk to her and she didn't say much, but she clearly thinks this is all her fault. If anything, it's my fault for not discussing how she should refer to me at the dinner with my husband and then discussing it with her beforehand. I just fucking hate that this woman is upsetting her so much, and I see why my husband divorced her. Thank you for reading. TLDR, my stepdaughter started calling me mom, and when her biological mom found out, she was furious and sent her and her dad a 4-paragraph-long text message talking about how disrespectful that was, and now our daughter feels awful. Kind of. Update. Last week I made a post about how my husband and my autistic 16-year-old stepdaughter went to dinner with his ex-wife and their oldest daughter, 26, to celebrate her getting a job she's been chasing her whole adult life. Then my stepdaughter called me mom at one point, and ex-wife got pissed and stopped the whole table to make a point, and the rest of the evening wasn't great. And then when we got home, both my husband and stepdaughter got a big text message from her talking about how disrespectful that was. So the day after the incident, my stepdaughter came over to me and told me her older sister texted her and asked if she could read the text out loud. I just nodded and said definitely, but on the inside my eyes rolled to the back of my head like, Jesus Christ, here we go. However, her sister sent her a very, very lovely and thoughtful message saying she felt bad about what happened the night before and was sorry the two of them haven't been talking much lately, and asked if she wanted to try to be sisters again. Then she said she asked her what movies she's seen lately, and movies is her special interest, so that meant a lot, she asked. Not gonna lie, I was caught off guard by her sincerity and kindness. It was very, very sweet. Then later that day, I got a text message from her older sister, whom I assume got my number from younger stepdaughter, and said she wanted to get to know me better since I am legally her stepmom now and I'm the woman her baby sister is calling mom, so she definitely wanted to try to get to know each other. She also mentioned that she didn't get to celebrate her sister's 16th birthday with her and felt that was a really big deal, and asked if the three of us could get dinner and see a movie. Tonight the three of us went out and saw a movie and got dinner by ourselves. My younger stepdaughter picked the movie and she loved it, but my older stepdaughter and I didn't get it, but all that matters is that she liked it. Then we sat down and had dinner together and had a very, very nice time. Then on the way out, my younger stepdaughter asked if she could run into the store next to the restaurant to buy something really quick, in and out, so we said alright. While she was in the store, my older stepdaughter told me she wanted me to know she misjudged me and watching the two of us interact both at the dinner the other night and tonight, me going through the menu with her to find something she likes, me advocating for her when their mother got upset, and how she clearly feels comfortable talking around her, and that she completely understands why I'm now mom to her. All in all, a pretty great night. After I got home, I saw she sent me a text related something we talked about, so looks like we're gonna be talking now. Still got some stuff to work out with her biological mom, but we'll take this as a victory. Anyway, yeah. I just figured I'd share something positive since there's a lot of negativity on Reddit and with my current situation, so I figured I'd share a positive update. Karma may finally take its toll on me tomorrow, and I deserve it. My girlfriend, 22F, texted me, 29M, that we need to talk tomorrow, and I know what's in store for me. But in order to understand the whole situation, I will explain the context. As a teenager, there were two things that characterized me, and they were my tall stature, I am currently 6 feet 5 inches, and my deep voice. Unfortunately, I was too skinny and shy, so my middle school and high school years were shrouded in constant mockery that severely affected my self-esteem, so I never had a girlfriend. The only time I had the courage to ask someone out ended with her laughing in my face. Before I entered college, I decided I wanted to change my situation, so I put myself through an intense exercise regimen. By the time I got in, I already had a beefy body which, combined with my height and voice, quickly made me popular. It wasn't long before I lost my virginity in a night of casual sex, but going from being a shy and unpopular guy to one surrounded by female attention caused a reaction in me that I'm currently ashamed of. Although I had many opportunities to have a girlfriend, I was so intoxicated by my new popularity that I didn't want to miss the chance to have as many women as I wanted, so I began to see women more as objects for my satisfaction than as people, which caused me to do a lot of harm to several women. Just so you don't misunderstand, everything was always consensual and for mutual fun and enjoyment, but I admit to having broken a few hearts. From then on, it was several years of casual sex, friends with benefits, etc., until finally, at the age of 26, I was unhappy with that lifestyle. I didn't enjoy sex anymore, it felt more like an obligation than something for pleasure, and I felt a terrible emptiness inside when it was over. I even wondered if I wanted to reach 60 like that, alone and without any kind of serious relationship, just with the memories of several sexual partners who would eventually forget me and start families. In the following years, I fell into a deep depression, but thanks to the help of friends and certain groups, I was able to turn a new page in my life. So much so that last year I met my girlfriend, and funnily enough my first girlfriend, because in all those years of casual sex, I never had a serious relationship. We have been dating for 5 months now, and last month she decided it was appropriate for us to meet each other's families. I introduced her to my parents and they loved her. Then she took me to her house to meet hers. I got along very well with them, although I couldn't help but notice that her older sister looked at me strangely during dinner. When it was time to leave, her sister came up to me and asked in a low voice, "Don't you remember me?" I looked at her confused and said no, and she said something that petrified me. We went to the same university. That night when I got home I couldn't sleep. I literally lay awake for hours trying to remember who she was until I finally remembered. She was a religious girl I met through a friend, and after some time I lied to her and told her I loved her so I could have sex with her, all because of a bet with some friends. She was a virgin and firmly believed in waiting until marriage, but I managed to convince her that I was too. I wasn't, and that our first time together would be special, even telling her that we would be boyfriend and girlfriend. Once I got what I wanted, I proceeded to ghost her for weeks, and when she confronted me face to face, I just pretended she was crazy. I didn't think about her for years, and now it turns out that her younger sister is my girlfriend. I know, it almost seems like some kind of cruel divine joke. Since then, I have been in constant fear that she would tell my girlfriend what happened. My fears came true today, as I texted my girlfriend early this morning to ask if she wanted to go out to try a new restaurant I had heard about, only to have her not reply for hours, until finally, just a few hours ago, she texted me to say that her sister had told her something and that we needed to talk in person tomorrow. I know very well what she is going to tell me, and I am ready to accept it. I did wrong and I am aware of it, and I believe that everything I did will eventually come back to me. Still, a small part of me hopes that there might still be a future with her, although I really doubt it. Depending on what happens, I will write an update. Update. Hello everyone. First of all, I want to thank everyone who has commented, both those who have given me advice and words of support, and those who have criticized me, except for that one person in private messages who said I deserve to be stabbed. Please get help. Today I talked to my girlfriend about the situation and what happened. Well, it's kind of surreal. The meeting place was our favorite coffee shop at 10 a.m. When I arrived, she was already there. I sat down, and I'm not going to lie, I felt like my heart was going to jump out of my chest because I already had an idea of what was going to happen. She struck up a little casual conversation and we talked for a few minutes until she finally decided to tell me what had happened to her sister. On Friday, she got a call from her sister asking about me and if I had said anything to her about my time at the university, to which she said no. Her sister went on to explain the situation to her, which shocked her so much that she needed a whole day to process it before she decided to set up a meeting today to talk about it. She said she was unwilling to fully believe the story until I confirmed it, as her relationship with her sister made her seriously doubt its veracity. I will explain this later. At the time, I was tempted to deny it, because from the sound of it, she was not willing to believe her sister, and there was no proof of what she was talking about, so I could easily lie and maybe get away with it. However, as one of the comments on the post told me, in order to grow, I have to face the consequences of my actions, so I decided to confirm what her sister said. My girlfriend just responded with an "oh" and then said she had to go to the bathroom, get up, and leave. I waited at the table for about 40 minutes, getting to the point where I was almost sure she had left me, but after a while she comes back to the table. She tells me that what I did to her sister was terrible, and that she thanks me for it. After that, it was about 4 hours of explanations, which I will summarize as best I can. It turns out that my girlfriend's older sister is the golden child of the family, and the relationship between the two of them has always been horrible since they were little. She always bullied her, physically and emotionally abused her, and the stories she told me about her childhood and adolescence are so horrible that I don't think I could write them here. She also mentioned to me that her sister was a gigantic narcissist and that she had undoubtedly lied about being a virgin when we met because she had had numerous boyfriends since before she went to college, all of whom she had convinced she was a virgin, and apparently she continued to do this after college. She even mentioned that she has only had one boyfriend besides me since she turned 18, because any other possible suitor she might have, her sister would quickly take him away from her, even convincing her ex-boyfriend to cheat with her. Apparently, the reason she wanted to bring me to her family was to show me off to her sister, who has been single for some time. And when her sister told her about what happened in college, at first she just dismissed it, thinking it was another one of her sister's lies, but certain factors, like the fact that we actually went to the same college, made her doubt it, and so she wanted to confirm it. Now that she knows it's true, She says that although she feels confused and even a little disgusted, she can't help but feel happy that she managed to beat her sister at something, and the fact that someone bested her sister at her own game is wonderful. To make a long story short, she said that our relationship can't be for now because, despite her relationship with her sister, it would be too weird for her to date someone who fucked a relative of hers, as several of you have said and even I acknowledge. She told me that despite my bad behavior, she didn't hold a grudge against me because she felt her sister deserved it for everything she did, and apparently continues to do. We parted on good terms, and she said that if she felt differently in the future, she would call me to see if we had anything. And that's that. My girlfriend broke up with me, as expected, but the rest was nothing like I expected. Even now, as I write this, I still have trouble believing what happened. I will take the advice someone gave me in the comments and refrain from dating for a while and focus on myself.